That's all bad. And guys, if you don't do something, something will do something to you. Why you bibi a bibi by your bibi? I'm a bibi are your bibi. Yeah, there is a young guys that have discussed about what really went on about Alan Cash people that was tarnishing the image of Kwame Bediako. I want you to watch the video and give me the feedback about how do you think and what do you think about their discussion. Thank you.
Independent presidential candidates in Ghana. He had this communicator. Right now, what do communicators do? They have to go in and promote their bosses. But instead of talking about his boss, he decided to talk about the opponent, right? Which really backfired big time because now people are asking him what his role is. So from DLS Wave, today's video, right? So we're gonna look at this guy who was trying to promote his boss again at a radio studio, right? A nice setup, brought in for an interview. He's supposed to be talking about his boss, his vision for the country, to align it with the people's vision and then get him the votes he deserves. But instead, he decided to do what? Talk about his opposition, who is Cheddar. So the question is why is everybody so fixated with Cheddar? That's the question that comes to mind.
I think Cheddar he's a new force.
New force. That's exactly how he describes himself.
He's a new force, and I think that's a description of himself and his party, not party, but his movement. It's very fitting. It's very apt. I think everybody's fixated on Cheddar because within a short time, Ghana, throughout our history, correct me if I'm wrong, but we've not had any independent candidate who's announced his candidacy and has risen to the level that Cheddar has got into in a relatively short time. Let's say a year, for example, but I think it's not even up to a year. And he's been campaigning vigorously for like, what, the last 3-4 months. And if you look at how he's penetrating the local communities, he's going around the country, going to local communities, going to the level of... So I think with all that he's doing, all the other opponents are seeing that, hey, this guy, we got to watch out because he's putting his face out there. He's doing what we don't do. I mean, there are people who are capable of doing what Cheddar is doing. Kofi Quarantine, I think he's wealthy enough to be able to do that. What's the name? Hassan Ayerga. He's also a wealthy guy. He could do what Cheddar is doing, but on the
lack of political will, just like Hubert Bailey.
Most of them are just sitting in Accra and making statements, and even if they do go to the local communities, they end up in a regional capital or district capital. But Cheddar is going to every constituency. That is a lot. So I think that's why they see him as they see him as a threat. They really do.
Why the fixation? Why is everybody fixated with Cheddar instead of focusing on what they need to do to kind of garner the masses to get their votes? Everybody's talking about Cheddar.
Two things. He's a threat. And then he's new. Threat because when you look at the messages all the political parties are going out dishing, right? He sounds more laudable.
And practical.
And it's new.
Right?
Like you said, we've not really seen something like that before. And then him being new, a lot of they kind of underestimated his will to get things done. So now he's like all over the place, and they are like, no, you cannot just come in within the shortest possible time and have that kind of impact.
I'm sure in their own rooms they're like, how quiver how do you?
No, he's really his weights about because he thinks he's rich. Now this brings back like memories, right? I think I watched a video online last month with TikTok. We all know Tik, right? The rapper, right? The same thing. He went to a studio. He was supposed to be talking about his upcoming album, his music video, and he had this altercation with hostess. It was a lady, and I was supposed to focus on the guy's music and his upcoming music video. He was actually talking about his beef with Shatta Wale, and when that chatter was ongoing, Shatta's music was being played in the background. So Tik obviously got pissed off, right? He walked upset.
And we have a lot of them. We're showing your video.
We can't be showing Shatta's video while I'm here talking about him. I didn't come here to promote Shatta Wale.
Okay, well, listen, I apologize greatly for this. We're going to return with more. You're still watching GH Today Live on GH.
So I feel like this is one of the situation you can kind of like, correlate with that story. So now we're going to unpack the whole thing. Now, he says something about the youth being what? Delusional.
Especially Gen Z. Gen Z for normal dream call. They are delusional.
So now we're going to look at the definition of delusional. So the word delusional literally means it's characterized by holding false beliefs or judgments about external reality that are held despite incontrovertible evidence to the contrary, which literally means typically as a symptom of what? Mental condition. It's like you believe in things that do not really exist. You do not live in reality. So that's what he was trying to say. So the next question on my mind is, do you believe Gen Z, right? Gen Z, which are people between the ages, I mean, they were born between like, mid-90s and 2010s, stuff like that. So let's say 25 to 35 years old. He said people of that age, range are delusional. They're not linked or in sync with reality.
There's this particular problem with Ghana or Ghanaians in general. Sometimes, just because we think we've gone to school, we use the English the way we anyway.
I'm sure even if you ask him, he can't tell you the exact meaning.
Exactly, yes, exactly. Yeah. And he has heard it. When maybe somebody says something you don't agree with, then it means the person is delusional. But it is not like that. You understand? He can, I always leave room for people to actually have their opinions and make their own mistakes, because that is what we're doing. But don't kind of generalize things just because you don't agree with the person's opinion. And that has been when it comes to some of our journalists and our people, like going on radios and trying to educate, they tend to
ostracize the youth, right?
Yeah, exactly. You understand? Because I don't understand where the delusional is coming from.
I think it's just pure political talk to score political points. Because if he really knows what the word means, then he's used it on purpose to score political points, to try to draw the minds of the youth away from each other. Because if you look at the political scene now, who is following each other? The youth. And everybody is trying to campaign to champion the cause of the youth. So if he's the one who is raking in the support of the youth, then, like we said before, he's seen as a threat. That is why I think if he knows what delusional means, he's trying to hit hard on the youth. But then using it will backfire as it has, because then the youth of today are not the youth of
yesterday.
Yesterday, parents' times. Those times, there was no social media. People were not traveling.
You have to read the newspaper.
Yes, you were myopic. Whatever the government told you, what you believe. But now every individual is a journalist. I can take my phone out now and report something and send it throughout the world. So the youth now are more tech savvy. They see things happening every day. They are traveling to other places. They have friends who are from different countries. So people know what is going on in the world. So if someone comes and is telling them what is possible, they already know. So it's easy to sway them. So if you are saying this, I don't know if he's done his homework well, because if you're talking about the youth of today, then you're making your case worse, because they know why they are following each other. Because they know that it's possible.
All right. So for you viewers out there who are a bit lost with the conversation and who might be a bit discombobulated, because today we're using all this. Big words, so to speak. So here we're gonna cut to the video.
To the youth, not to the you abana, Gen Z if we walk cutting.
And they asante hand in the Rolls Royce besi out him so menana. Menana. Or in the Rolls Royce be choma who domo be to a DH. Ma Safo can tank a metia menkofa Bentley and see quite move who domo be to a DH. And non chair say, almost message and now or assembly or can almost say no. People are following each other because, especially Gen Z for normal dream call. They are delusional. They aspire that actually be honestly be Rolls Royce and teacher they treat Rolls Royce they can relate.
Gen Z for only delusional. Sabra for say.
No, and yet them. I say some attachment.
They live in a utopia world.
Thank you.
They are not in reality.
Because really, frankly speaking, I don't know Obi Shanta who be Obi Kofa trailer no a painting a Ghana color no the Nama Bontin and it also obey to me the president. Then frankly, Misuma Ghana. It's in a message to make us say election way a better see a resolve for change. Say a friend Sakai or a brabum. And I pedada and I the name media because Osha America near my Akosia. Let me give you an example. Abana CNN, MSCBN or said Omoye propaganda ABC News, Etia Trump, so blacks, or request statistics, blacks at Toma Trump no. Because he was touching on issues that never bother Abaya bet what are the issues? The issues are edda a passes here or Ghana. Economy, I say, and Anjuma and
So now, yeah, we saw the video. Let's go to the breakdown. So he said the youth are delusional, right? Because Cheddar is rich, he's flamboyant, he's kind of like, opulent with his wealth. This is why the youth are kind of like, they feel attracted to him and they feel like they can relate because they also see themselves as, acquiring all these things that Cheddar has. So do you think that is the case? Do people follow Cheddar or does the youth follow him because of his money?
So far in Cheddar's campaign, I haven't seen him, well, maybe displaying
yeah.
first of all, and secondly, the message that he's putting out there is industrializing and creating jobs. I don't see how that is an opulent display of his wealth or he being flamboyant. He's not talking about himself. He's just saying that I will create jobs to make you successful. I'll create opportunities for you to be successful. That is, I don't think he's in any way describing him as saying that I'll teach you how to make money. There's nothing wrong with teaching someone how to make money anyways, but so far in his campaign, he's not talking about himself. He's talking about industrializing the country in every aspect to create opportunities for young people. So if you say that message is putting out there is him being opulent and flamboyant, it doesn't match because that's not what we are seeing on the ground. That's not what he's campaigning on.
And let me add to what you just said. You see, Ghana, we are good with tags.
Label, right?
Yes, they will label you like, I think because of our education. Because we've labeled all the parts of the animals in the world. So watch it. If they don't have anything proper
against you,
or any good question to ask you, they tag you. And that is what they're trying to do with Cheddar.
Right.
I always say this: you have the right to pick a candidate. It is your personal decision. But don't tag him. If you don't understand, ask someone. Let somebody explain what he means by I would move the sea from one place to another. Ask someone. If he says he will industrialize the country, how is it going to be done? If you don't understand, get it. But don't tag him that he's being flamboyant, he's being cocky, he's being that. You understand? Sometimes they sit on radio and they talk as if they are zooted, right? Way zooted. And you ask yourself, you have an opportunity to educate the public on policies from all the political parties, so the people will be informed to make an informed decision again. But you are rather the one inciting them, calling them names. For what purpose?
Yeah, but this is why sometimes I do have problems with this, like you said, so-called journalists who are supposed to know better, right? Because you should be asking the guy to literally explain what he means, because he's supposed to be literally attacking the guy's policies, right? This policy doesn't make sense. Ghana is not ready to achieve this policy. Okay, Pillar 3, it's not feasible. Attack the policies of the guy, not his personality. I'm saying this because I don't know if you guys saw the video. He was saying stuff like Oshentari. He wears scary clothing and outfit. What does Cherry wear that is so ridiculously
Again, that has been
my point is just too personal.
No, I get it, but that has been our body politics. Have you seen? Listen, but a few programs. Have you actually listened to? I don't listen to the radio, but sometimes you chance on videos where people are talking about politics, and you ask yourself, is it the same country that we know things are not going well they're talking about? And that is the problem we have. And we have all these people on I'm all for giving opportunities, but you give opportunities to people that will impact life, right? Help educate the next generation. But if such a person is sitting down and instead of attacking or discussing the person's policies, you are talking about the clothes he's wearing.
But again, there's something called fashion, right? I've been through Cheddar's like IG for like, you know, for a while. And I don't see anything.
But what does Cheddar's suit have to do for me?
Even
I need a sofa in my home. I need water to drink. I need electricity. But my current what do you call it? Prepaid meter is chopping my money anyhow. You understand?
But even when he says I don't know what in sort of entire he's talking.